Hi, in this video we will learn how to use the accumulate card to keep track of recent values for a streaming source. For example, if we have a source of data where each update is one or a subset of all the data we want to use for a chart, for example, then we want to be able to keep track of the most recent values for those. In this case, what we need is the accumulate card, which is over here. We only have to specify which of the fields we want to keep. It's similar to select, for example, the select card. So in this case, you can either drag and drop, or you can click here and select the ones. In this case, I'm going to just add them all. And you can see that it already accumulates the data into a table. We can do everything we can do in other cards, like calculated fields, rename, reorder, and summarize. And the difference is over here. There's an extra section on the query that says evict row when, and here we have to specify a formula that will tell the accumulate card which rows are going to be kept and which rows are going to be discarded. And this formula will run for each row every time there's an update. The output will be emitted every second. By default, it will keep the last 100 entries, the most recent ones, and it does so by saying that it will keep the ones where the row index is less than 100. The most recent rows are inserted at the top, so the rows with the first 100 index values are the most recent ones. But we can use other fields. Insertion date is an insertion time is the time and date when the row was inserted, when it was seen and added to the accumulate card for the first time. And evict time and evict date is the time when the eviction runs. So for example, if we want to keep track of the rows that were inserted in the last minute, for example, then we compare the insert date with the evict date, and we keep just the ones for the last minute. We can also use fields from the inputs themselves. So for example, if each update has a date or a time, and we want to use that to know if we want to keep it or evict it, then we can use it. Like here, for example, we have the timestamp. Since there are many rules that are common and used a lot, we have the magic wand here that will show some examples of eviction rules. The default is keep the 100 most recently inserted, which is the default when the accumulate card is created. But we have others, like keep inserted in the last 5 minutes. We can see that one. So it's comparing the eviction date to the insertion date in minutes, and it's keeping all the ones where the difference is less than 5. The same in the last hour is pretty similar. And keep the ones inserted today. If we want to have a chart that displays only information for today, and if the dashboard is open and the date changes, we want to evict the values for yesterday, then we can use this one. And by default, it will use the insertion date, but we can use, for example, the field timestamp in this case to keep the ones that are inserted today. In this case, the timestamp is in seconds and not in milliseconds, so I will have to multiply it by 1,000 to make it work. So there's a difference between the time the entry was inserted and the time when the event happened, because we may be replaying or loading information from the past, so you can use it there. With time, we are going to add more of these examples for evictions, but you can create your own and make them as simple or as complex as you want by using the eviction fields or fields from the event itself. So this was the accumulate card, which allows to keep track of many values from an input, mostly used for streaming sources, but it can be used, for example, if you are loading data from a CSV or an Excel file or a JSON and you want to keep across updates, you can use it there too. Just as a notice, the accumulate card is not going to grow forever. If this rule is true most of the time and there are many updates, it will keep only the last 10,000 rows at maximum. So that's the limit for now. So if you have any question, just comment on the comment section below. Bye.